Shawomwa. Good morning. How are you all doing? Thank you once again for coming to my channel. As you can see, today we're going to be doing something a little differently. Going to be looking briefly at a certain portion of a story and specifically focusing on one particular suffix. But first, this story, as you can see, is a dog story, and it's shared by Ralph Burns, who is from Pyramid Lake, Nevada. And I have been blessed and grateful to have been able to learn some of the Paiute language from him and other things. He is an amazing man. So grateful to have gotten to know him. So as I was saying, we're going to be looking at one particular suffix actually, and it's the one that you can see right here, N-A, na. You can see it here as well, na, and here, na, and here, na, and another one, na, and another one, na. One right here, you can see it right here, na. You can see one here, na, another one here, na. They're all over the place. So let's briefly look at these 4 lines. 4 lines. First, otnos musare kai poinabigan kai tamadugunagan sagwasapanana juguina na koina puma inatuduhana kai nanatuspichana suquina pa ayotsinamina no ko manina puni manina kai pizzapi. And it says, long ago, the dogs, having no leader or any rules or regulations for living, treated each other carelessly. They fought, stole from one another, and disrespected each other. The eagle, while flying around high up above, saw all their actions and didn't like what they were doing. So how does this na suffix contribute to that English translation? You know, what does that na suffix do? What does it mean that results in my translation here into English? So let's look closer at it. First, again, it starts with long ago, the dogs. Otnos musade. Okay, long ago, the dogs. Kai poinabigan means having no leader. And kai tamadugunagana means having no rules or regulations for living. So the na suffix, if you click this now, if you're doing this all on your own, you click on it, I actually kind of try to explain it. So poinabi is the root. It means leader. Ga, as you can see here below, it means have. And na is this S-I-M abbreviation. What that means is simultaneous. What that means is that it indicates that adjacent clauses or clauses that are next to each other, it could be more than one, they happen simultaneously. The actions happen concurrently at the same time. But this na suffix can also have a little bit more subtle nuances. It can function in other ways as well, on top of simultaneously. And in this case, it indicates cause or the reason for something. And that's what it is here. So, kai poinabigan, having no leader, could be translated in this case as because the dogs had no leader. And the same for this one, kai tamadugunagana, because they had no rules or regulations for living, sagwasapananatjuguina, they treated each other carelessly. Why did they treat each other carelessly? Because they had no leader and they had no rules or regulations for living. And what follows next, na koina, they fought. Puma yunatuduhana, they stole from one another. And kai nanatusupichana, then they disrespected each other. Everything happening in this second line, the reason, the cause is because of these first two. Have no leader, no rules or regulations for living. But the na suffix in this second line, this one doesn't have any, they don't have that cause or reason sense to it. These ones are just simply strictly simultaneous suffix. It indicates that they happen at the same time, concurrently. Okay, so because they had no rules or regulations, they treated each other carelessly. They fought, stole from one another, disrespected each other. All that was happening simultaneously, just at the same time. That was their manner of living. That's what they did. That's what that indicates. This na right here, yuna, is a little different. This just happens, this whole yuna yuna suffix kind of, you see it together all the time, and so to be honest, I'm not entirely sure how it functions, but you see it together all the time. Sometimes it may be subordinate, part of a subordinate clause, but it just, in this case, this is the buma yuna, from them. They stole duduhana buma yuna, from them, from each other. And that's kind of what it means. Ma'yuna is the from, indicating from, location. Na, actually, now that I remember, it can indicate like a location in some sense, at. So that's where they stole from each other. It was from them, from each other. These next two lines, line 3 and 4. Now, su quidna pa'ayodzinumina. The eagle, while flying high up above, noko umamanina puni, saw all their actions, umamanina kaibitsapi, and didn't like what they were doing. So the first na is here, yodzinumina. This one is the same as the ones in this second line, and if you click it, you can see that na is just a simultaneous suffix. It indicates happening at the same time, and that's why I translated here using this word, this temporal adverb, while. You could have said, as the eagle was flying around high up above, noko mumanina punni, saw all their actions. So again, it happens at the same time. The eagle is flying up above, and while doing that, concurrently, simultaneously, he saw down below their actions. Where does this word actions come from? Well, it's this word right here, manina. This one, actually, this na, is different. You click on it, you can see it's NMLZ. What that means is a nominalizer. I've already done one whole video on this nominalizer. What that means is that it converts a verb into a noun. So the verb in this case is mani, which you can see here in the gloss. It means to do. It's a verb of doing. It's an action verb. And so how do you convert a verb do into a noun? Well, it becomes actions. Or you could just say doings. So, no ko manina puni, saw puni, saw their manina, their doings. He saw their actions. And this last line, manina, their doings or their actions, kai pizapi, didn't like. The eagle saw their actions and didn't like them. So, that is all we're going to be looking at today. That suffix na. Again, it can mean that the actions, the clauses occur concurrently at the same time. That happens for all of them. But on top of that, some of them can indicate the cause or the reason for the next clauses. And then you have this other one, which just indicates it nominalizes the verb. Changes it, converts it from a verb into a noun. This suffix isn't limited to those three, though. There are other functions that it has. For example, it can indicate a conditional clause. If something, then something else. But we're not going to be looking at that today. So I hope that made sense just for this little portion. As always, if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. So that is all. Mat nusap. Have a good day. Until next time, see you later. Punirua.